Hey guys, this is my 1967 Power Wagon. This truck, me and my son Chase started putting together probably 6 years ago. We got it out of Utah. We got it from a buddy of Merlin Johnson's. We pulled it out of the junkyard, and I've got footage of that when we actually pulled it out. But for the last 6 years, me and Chase kind of cab swapped it. What's under it was Chase's high school truck. So when he was a junior in high school and a sophomore in high school, this 97 Dodge that's under this was his high school truck. Then we decided to cab swap it. We put this 4-door on there. Then it kind of went into a spot where it just kind of lingered around the yard for, I don't know, maybe 4 years. Chase decided that he was gonna sell the truck because, you know, he's got married, he has a couple of kids, he wanted to build a shop. And I told him, hey, if you're gonna sell the truck, I gotta have this thing because, you know, we put it together and I wanna just finish it. So over the last 6 or 8 months since I've purchased this truck from Chase, I've been going through it and I put power windows in it. It's got air conditioning in it now. This is a Utah truck, so the heater was probably on quite a bit in it. But it's got air, heat, we've lifted the truck. And so today, I am gonna go ahead and paint this truck. I'm a real big fan of the 57 Chevy Tropical Turquoise is what they call it. And it's a real pretty turquoise color. These trucks actually came factory turquoise also. Been a big fan of it, and it looks really good with the accents of the patina that we're gonna do on this truck as we get going, and you'll see how it all comes out. But we're gonna put a real nice turquoise blue on it, and then we're gonna come back and start airbrushing it, and then I'll put a high gloss clear on it so it just really pops out with the colors. I mean, I'm taking it from an old looking truck to an older looking truck by the time we get done. But it's gonna look good, and if you guys just wanna follow along, you guys can see how this is gonna go. I got Travis Dieter here, which anybody that's watched Vegas Rat Rods knows that Travis was the artist on the show, and he's very talented with his airbrushing skills and his painting skills and numerous other things that he does. But today we're gonna get busy on this thing and we're gonna really put a color on it. My son Cash right now is gonna go ahead and pressure wash it for me, wipe down all the excess paint that's on it. We've already sanded it down, so we're ready to go ahead and put our paint on it. So we're gonna wash it off and get going. Okay, so what we're doing is we're laying down some Visqueen on the floor. We're gonna tape it off. We're gonna drive the truck over it because once we start spraying it with bottles of our water-based paint, it's gonna wanna drip onto the ground and it stains the ground. So basically that's what this is for, so we don't stain the concrete. So we've got it taped off. We've got it pretty much prepped. You know, you're looking at it going, God, are you gonna do any of the body work? Hell no. If I was gonna do the body work on this truck, it would probably cost $10,000 to straighten it out. And I'm not a guy that does body work, and I think it's cooler to leave them a little bit old school looking. Like these little imperfections right here, when we come back to airbrush it, these will be part of the airbrush. So every imperfection will actually become perfect by the time it's over. It'll look like it should have been there. So we're getting ready to throw down the first coat on this right now. We've got some nice, it's pretty decent paint. It's some water-based turquoise paint. It's a 57 Chevy Tropical Turquoise is what they call it. So it's a real pretty color. This does look like 90s. All we need is a peach stripe. Yeah. A peach stripe, heartbeat. It's gonna look good. Wait till we're done, dude. This thing's gonna be so 90s now. Okay, so at this point right now, we have the turquoise base coat is what we're gonna call it on the truck. We shot it yesterday. It laid out pretty good. Now you're looking at the truck going, man, there is no body work done to this truck. Well, that's the whole thing. I don't want no body work. I mean, these dents and stuff that are in it we're actually gonna make them look worse than they are. It's gonna be a cool look. We're gonna add, right now we're putting a black on it, and then we're gonna overlay it with a, they call it a sepia brown. So it'll be a really dark brown, and then we're gonna airbrush a little bit. And as you see it come together, like all these rivets will start dripping. And there's a process. There's probably gonna be 2 to 3 more processes before we get the final, what we want it to look like. But when it's done, it's gonna be awesome. This color pops so well with all these colors. Even with the black on it, it has such a great look. But we're gonna add more colors to this thing and dingy it down even more, so. Well, right now we're in the middle of getting the little tiny cracks that you can't get to. And I know everybody's gonna wonder why we didn't take this Dodge emblem off the truck. The reason why is because Dodge installed the emblem before the fender. So there's literally a pillar that goes like this, and the last nut is in between here and there's no access panel to it. And I thought there was, so I reached in here and I hole sawed a hole in the inner fender to get through to there, and there's another wall that it's behind. So the only way to get this off is either break it off or you gotta pull the whole fender off the truck. And we're not going that far. So I know everybody's gonna be like, hey, why didn't you just take that off? Well, we took the first 2 out so we could pull it out enough to get an airbrush in there and clean it up. But that's why that's not coming off. And then all these little rivets, it's hard to get the little halo around it. So Travis is darkening them all up right now and kind of starting to really give it that drippy look. It's starting to come along. This thing's gonna look badass when it's done. I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. We're gonna go ahead and probably let it dry, do the door jams on this thing, and then tomorrow morning come in here and shoot a couple of coats of clear on it and drive it. Me and Travis gotta talk really close because I only have one mic. You know, actually, you know what? Do you want? Let's do this. Let me just interview you. Here we go. Look at this little mic. Look how little it is. Hello and welcome here to Steve Darnell and Travis Dieter's Fun Shop. Travis, listen. Let's just let these people know our history a little bit. I don't think people really know our history.
No, nobody knows. Just like they do the way they do this, nobody knows.
like you can't hear it out here. Right. Like, hi, everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear? Anyway. Okay, so before we get started on this paint job on this truck, because it is pretty cool. Travis and I have probably known each other for 30 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
We were iron workers together back in the 90s. Travis worked for my dad. And then he did, well, total probably was. How many years of Vegas route routes did we do?
Well, Bob, I think we did 4 seasons and it took 8 years.
Okay, so anyway, so to get back into history, yes, me and Travis, we grew up, we're both born in Las Vegas. We've done a lot of together. We've built, I mean, aside of TV, probably pretty close to 100 cars. Don't you think? How many do you think we built together?
At least 80. At least 80.
At least 80. But if you take all the B, okay, so you take all the A roll cars and then the B series cars.
Oh yeah, tell them about that. So the A story would be the hot character, which would be the main vehicle.
Right.
Then the B story would be some other little puny vehicle off to the side. Then sometimes they added a C story, all in the same episode.
Yeah, so there was like 2 to 3 car builds in one episode. And then in our shop, we would really have 5 builds going at once.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, that's just a little background, but like all in all, it's like we still, you know, we're not doing TV right now. We're just hanging out. I mean,
fun.
me and Travis, I mean, Travis has got, listen,
Fun.
listen, we know this guy's got a shit ton of talent. Let me tell you, he can paint, he can do sheet metal, he can do anything. But the problem with Travis is he cannot compete with the boobies on TikTok. And that's why we don't do our show no more. We cannot compete with G-strings and nice booties and boobies.
That's correct.
So why would you want to watch two old farts like us build cars?
Yeah. Nobody cares anymore.
No one gives a shit. But in the meantime, we're still doing YouTube and we're building cool stuff still continuously. This is our life. This is what we do. Travis, we still love it. All the guys that were on the crew, we all still love this stuff. So, but real quick, what I wanted to get at is having Travis here. It's nice because we're painting the cab over. We just completed this one the other day. I know everybody always wants to ask questions about the paint, the fake patina, the wrap that we put on it, why we didn't do this, why we didn't do that. So we're just gonna clarify a few things, right?
Yeah, because it's not a wrap, which usually we get somebody will say, oh, you guys wrapped that. You guys can see this is a real rivet. This isn't painted on.
These are all literally drilled. We have to reach up in there and weld them all. This one right here, I had to cut the inner of the firewall here, make a hole to reach in to weld that one to keep them spaced out. But yeah, I mean, those are all real solid steel rivets, but I knew that it would look cool when Travis comes in and starts his airbrushing we've done this together so long that we know it's gonna work. It really, what the thing of it is like any of these colors right here, we just mix and just go, what does that look like? I don't know, straight on there. I mean, it's not like a set color. There isn't any there's not really an instruction on mixing the color. You just get what you want and then go with it.
There's 4 colors on that actually. So get the effect that you want. There's a like black underneath that. And then we've got a brown, then we've got a sienna, then we've got a raw umber. So it's quite a bit of stuff. It takes a bit to do this. A lot of people get, agitated and they're like, oh, why you spend so much time to make it look old? Because it's cool and who cares, right?
Listen, at the end of the day, I got something that I wanted. I've created this thing with me and a few of the guys around me that know what they're doing. My son, Chase, Travis Dieter, Merlin Johnson. Like, there's been some people involved that you kind of have to make sense of something like this. There's questions that need to be answered. It's not easy. It's not easy. But what it comes down to is the sweat equity that I personally have in this truck is above and beyond most people's want. You got to really, really want it to really make it look like that and to fight through it and think about it every night and push yourself through it. I've been through 100 of these, probably built 100 different vehicles in my lifetime. And every one of them has their own thing. And this one is, I'm 50 years old. I feel like I'm at that time in my life where I want to chill a little bit and I want to back away from being under the gun so much. So I built this truck to have the luxuries of a brand new truck, but I could still drive an old truck. And I really think that's what every guy wants. It's just hard to do it. It's hard. And most guys don't have the shop, they don't have the time to put something like this together. So I feel fortunate that I've structured my life around this where I can actually do it. So I am lucky to be able to have this gorgeous truck. I love it. It's gonna be a great time. There's gonna be, I'm sure, videos of it out there because it's unique. It's one of a kind. But I'm super happy. My son is really jealous. He's so jealous right now because I finished it. But it took me a lot of work to get everything perfect. It's still not perfect, but I got it close. But stick around, there's gonna be some more. I'm glad that you guys got to see this truck. I'm super happy that I got to do it. I mean, it's really made me happy to get it done, so.